Weilà raga! How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another lesson in our Zero to Hero Italian grammar series, where we're looking at Italian from the most basic of concepts and working our way up to the most advanced. Once again, we're in advanced territory. This is some pretty advanced stuff. When I say advanced, that doesn't mean difficult or hard or super challenging. It just means that you will have covered so many other things in Italian, and now you're ready to tackle some things that are more intricate. They're more layered, right? They're more layered. Let's look at it that way. Okay, so we're looking at the Imperativo once again. This should be our last full-on lesson just on the Imperativo. We'll see how things go with a language. You never stop learning, right? So never say never, but at least for this grammar basics sort of Zero to Hero Italian series, this should be the last one for now, but we will be seeing this again because obviously you can use the Imperativo in many different ways with other parts of grammar. So let's head on over to the digital whiteboard. We're once again in the Imperativo. Imperativo is our imperative mood in Italian, used for giving commands, orders, invitations, all that kind of good stuff. Now, we have prerequisites, once again, just like last time. So we've got, you need to have seen the first two videos on the Imperativo, or at least be familiar, obviously, with the content in those videos. So the first two videos on the Imperativo, the congiuntivo presente, obviously the indicativo presente, and our object pronouns videos. So I would say the direct object pronouns video, the indirect object pronouns video, and then obviously the double or combined object pronouns video. I think that would be a great place to start. And I would also say reflexive verbs. Yeah, I would also say, yeah, because you can use reflexive verbs with this. I would also look at that. Reflexive verbs. Cool. So definitely all of this stuff will help you in tackling that. And this is what it means by advanced. That's all. That's what it means. Just got a lot of stuff that's going to support you as you knock this out of the park, you know, as you spacca tutto, as you hit it out of the park. Oh, right there, that's a command. Spacca tutto, right? If you tell someone spacca tutto, so as you spacchi tutto would be the indicative. This is like saying knock it out of the park. There are different translations. Knock it out of the park. Yeah, so anything that means something along those lines, spacca tutto, because are verbs in the to form and an a and an a. Spaccare, spacca, spacca tutto. Go out there and kill it, you know? Go out there and knock it out of the park. It means that. Cool. All right, so we're looking at the Imperativo with object pronouns today. That is going to be the focus of this lesson. So Imperativo with object pronouns. Okay, that is going to be the focus of la lezione di oggi. What I'm going to do is begin with looking at verbs such as fare, dire, and dare. Those are pretty much going to be our foundation because we often use those verbs to do, to say, and to give. In the imperative, you can also use portare. Basically, any verb that involves indirect and direct object pronouns can be used with the imperativo because you're going to do something to someone. That's the idea. And when you're giving a command, right? Works, makes sense. So let's look at fare. Fare is one of our friendly irregular verbs in the imperativo. So the to form is fa. However, it is acceptable to say fai, right? The classic expression we say in Italian is fai il bravo, mi raccomando, which means like behave, be a good boy, I'm telling you. You can also say fai la brava. Fai la brava. And you can end it the same way. So yeah, fa or fai can work. The noi form, voi form, lei form is what's coming next. Noi is facciamo. Nice normal form here. Voi is fate, same thing. Normal indicative present. And the lei is faccia because we always use the congiuntivo Presente form for lei, which is what we went over in the video right before this one. So if you wanted to tell someone, behave, but it's someone you're calling sir or ma'am, you would say faccia. Still sounds a little impolite, but maybe that's a different question. Faccia la brava signora, faccia il bravo signore. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is see what happens when we use these with object pronouns. Okay, so we're going to begin with tu, all right? So tu, think of the form as being fa. That's the best way to begin. We're going to look at it first with me, so object pronoun me, right? And let's say when we're using fare, it's always like let's or make, right? In command sort of situations. So if I said to you, for example, facciamo I compiti. This would mean, I'm just veering off for a quick second, this means let's do our homework. Facciamo I compiti, it's understood, it's our homework. So facciamo I compiti. Let's do our homework. If instead I want something to be done onto me, like why don't you, do the homework for me? Or why don't you let me see your homework, right? Like make me see it. You can also do something like that. So we have fare with me, that's the idea. So fa, mi, and then I want to say vedere, because I want to say let me see, make me see. That's basically the idea. I want to make you have me see it. It's basically the idea. Anyway, what I'm getting at is this right here is going to become fammi vedere. So fa plus me turns into fammi with two M's. The M's are also there for emphasis when we speak, but that is how you write it. Fammi vedere. This is very, very useful, right? You could say fammi sapere. This means let me know. Fammi sapere, let me know. You could say fammi uscire. Let me out, let me exit. Fammi entrare. Let me in. Fammi entrare. Let me in. So let me. This is also let me. And the verb lets us know what? What is it that you want to be done? So let me out. Let me exit. Let me leave. Fammi entrare. Let me in. Let me enter. All right? Fammi entrare. Let me in. Let me enter. Fammi entrare. Now, what happens when we're using one of these guys over here, right? Okay, so we're going to take a look at that now. The easy thing is that for noi and voi, you're just going to attach me at the end of it. There's no double me for that, okay? So we say facciamo, even though it sounds a little bad, so maybe I'll change the pronoun for this one. But yeah, let me do the facciamoci vedere. Okay, and this one I'm going to do fate. Fatemi vedere. So you could take any object pronoun, tack it onto the end. Any direct object pronoun, tack it onto the end. Because I don't like facciamo mi. Facciamo mi vedere is like let us, let me see. It just doesn't work. So facciamoci vedere is like let's have ourselves a look. That's what this means. Let's have ourselves a look. Facciamoci vedere un attimo. Let's have ourselves a look at this. See how we do that in English? Fatemi vedere is just let me see, but I'm talking to a group of people. So you guys, let me see. Let me see this. Fatemi vedere. Nice. Now with the lei, what do we do? So it's generally seen when we're saying things like fatemi, facciamoci. You know how in English, in formal writing, we always say don't do things like this? Can't, I'm, don't, etc. These are seen as informal. The same thing happens in Italian. If you have contractions, they're informal. Or things that are put together, it's more informal. It's not as polite and courteous as it could be. So therefore, when we say cannot, let me scroll this up here. When we say cannot, or I am, or do not, these are seen as more polite, more formal, more standard, right? Okay. Same thing in Italian. So when we say fammi vedere, this is seen as more informal than mi fai vedere. right? Even think of the usage. Fammi vedere is let me see. Let me see. Mi fai vedere gives you the impression of saying, can you let me see? It feels like that. We're not using the verb can, but it feels like that, okay? Similar to, if I say mi vedi or mi senti, let's do that. Mi senti, like you're on the phone and you want to know, do you hear me? Do or can you hear me is how we say it in English, okay? Mi senti? Can you hear me? Do you hear me? Or just, you hear me. That's informal, but you get the idea. If I instead say, sentimi, this means hear me, you know, or listen to, yeah, hear me is what it actually means. Listen to me is ascoltami. Ascoltami. There we go. That's listen to me. Okay. So hear he, you know, I don't know why I'm thinking of that. But anyway, sentimi un attimo. Like, you listen here to me just a second, all right? Ascoltami bene. You listen to me well. Ascoltami bene. That's different from saying, mi ascolti un attimo? Mi ascolti un attimo? That means, could you just listen to me for a second, please? It feels like that. Could you just listen to me for a sec? Feels like that. Could you just listen to me for a sec? All right? Mi ascolti un attimo? Giusto un attimo, per favore. Grazie. And then if you're not listening to me, I'll say ascoltami. Ascoltami. Mannaggia. Mannaggia means like damn. Oops. There we go. Ascoltami, mannaggia. Che fai? What are you doing? Ascoltami, mannaggia. Listen to me. See the difference? Cool. So we went over fammi, and stuff like that. Did I do the negative version? Non. Yeah, let's do the negative version. Okay, let's do the negation of this. So let's do negative commands with object pronouns, sempre con fare, always with fare. So we would say tu, we would say non, so non fare, and then if you have to put a pronoun at the end of it, because in the imperative, we can take object pronouns and tack them on to a conjugated form of the verb, something we normally don't ever do, but in the imperative, in the imperativo, we can. But what happens when a verb is not conjugated? I'll show you. Let's do everything with me, okay? So normally we would say non fare, but if I don't want you to do something to me, I would say non farmi vedere. Don't let me see. With the noi, keep the verb conjugated, like we always do. Non facciamo, even though I don't like the way it sounds, see? I also want to say ci. Non facciamo mi vedere. Like, let's not let me see, is what that means. Voi non fate mi vedere. Guys, don't let me see. And the lei, is going to be non mi faccia vedere. Ah, that's what I wanted to say. So, it's informal when everything is attached. It's more formal and polite when it's all separated. That carries in with the lei form. We never attach object pronouns onto the imperative in the lei form. That is our rule. So here's our rule. In the imperativo, that's what I wanted to get at before we got into this. In the imperativo, you can attach, or you kind of have to, because that's what makes it imperativo. You can attach the object pronoun onto the end of each verb. With lei, you never do. All right? With lei, you never do. It's got to be separate. It's got to be separate. Seen as more polite. It's more formal to have everything separated. All right. There we go. Non mi faccia vedere, non fatemi vedere, non facciamomi vedere. Don't like the way that sounds, but just for teaching purposes, non farmi vedere. Now, what happens when we're using other pronouns? What would that look like? Okay, let's just look at some other random examples, shall we? I could say, I did fatemi, fammi. Cool. Let's now do with lo. I can say, fammelo vedere. What's fammelo vedere? Let me see it. So first we had fammi vedere, right? So fammi vedere is let me see. But fammelo vedere, which I'm now going to highlight, fammelo vedere is let me see it. See how that is? Pretty cool, right? So what I'd like to do at this point is I want to begin with everything separated and do what I call the funnel down approach, which is where we begin with everything all spelled out, and we just keep going, keep going, keep going until we get to something really reduced, which is this. This would be our ending result here, fammelo vedere. So let's do that. I call this the funnel down method. Funnel down method. I don't have this in any of my videos, but in my live group lessons every week on Zoom, I talk about this when we do object pronouns, and also on the learning resource on my website. If you ever want to do homework or see some learning resources written out, I have a store where you can purchase those documents. I also have free stuff on my blog, but if you want to support my work, there's paid stuff also. So yeah, anyway, funnel down method. Let's begin. Let's say, fai vedere il libro a me. So we're going to begin with a really elongated statement here, okay? Fai vedere il libro a me. You show the book to me. You make me see the book, is what it also means, okay? Fai vedere il libro a me. Let us first change the direct object, okay? What is it that you want to see? Or what is it that you're going to make me see? The book. What do we use for il libro? We use lo. So we say, lo fai vedere a me. Now we're going to change the indirect object of the sentence. A me becomes me. When me is next to lo, it becomes mello, as we discussed in our video on double or combined object pronouns. Me lo fai vedere. And now, I started with everything drawn out. Replaced one of the objects with an object pronoun. Now I replaced both objects with a combined object pronoun. And now what are we going to do? I just want to tell you, just let me see it, mannaggia. I keep asking you. I've been so polite. Just do it, right? Well, we're going to take fare as a command, and then we're going to be using this double object pronoun. So it's going to become fammelo vedere. And I'm going to put that exclamation point. See how that works? Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool, my friends. Pretty cool. Let's take a look at dire, shall we? Okay. Let's begin with dire. And we're going to say dire la verità. Okay. So this is going to be, so I'm just going to exemplify everything with this. So we're going to say, it's going to be you tell the truth, yeah. Dici la verità a me. Okay. So we're first going to replace the direct object. La dici a me. Now we're going to replace the indirect object. Me la dici. All right, nice and polite. You're not saying it to me. It's now got to become dimmela. Now, how do we arrive there? Let's take a look at the rules, shall we? So we've got dire in the imperativo is as follows. Tu is just di. Noi is diciamo. Voi dite. Lei dica. Have you ever entered a store in Italy and they tell you, mi dica? They're saying, tell me. They're actually saying dimmi. which means tell me, but this is informal. This is tell me, but it's formal. See how everything just like suddenly starts coming together, right? You're like, oh, now I get why they do that. Mi dica is tell me, but it's formal, so we're using lei. Lei in the imperativo is in the congiuntivo presente form, and we don't combine the object pronouns. We keep everything nice and separate. Invece, quando sei informale, non è così. Instead, on the other hand, when you're being informal, put everything together nice and nice. Dimmi. So that's why we say dimmi and dimmela. It comes from this right here. What if it was with voi, right? It would be ditemela. See how that works? But if it's lei, me la dica. Everything separate. So with the lei, they get stuck over here. They get stuck at that. They don't go all the way down to the most reduced form. They don't. With the lei, no. Me lo dica. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Very cool, very cool. Let's also do, like if we wanted to tell ourselves the truth using like a reflexive verb, making it reflexive, we would say, diciamoci la verità, ragazzi. Like, diciamoci la verità, ragazzi. Like, let's be honest with ourselves, guys, that's what this basically means. Let's be honest with each other. Can feel like that. Let's be honest with each other, guys, Diciamoci la verità. And if I just want to say, let's say it to ourselves. Diciamocela. Diciamocela, ragazzi, diciamocela. How did we arrive at this? Let's back into it. So let's begin with the whole phrase. Noi, I'm going to put the noi in here for emphasis. Noi diciamo a noi stessi, to ourselves, la verità. Let's just say the truth to ourselves, guys. Come on now. So what are we first saying? La verità. Quindi diciamo. I'm going to get rid of the noi. Diciamo. Oh, la diciamo, sorry. La diciamo a noi stessi, or just a noi. And if I want to replace a noi stessi, which is ourselves, that would be ci, right? So ci plus la equals cella as a combined object pronoun. So it would be cella diciamo, which is perfectly fine. That's just a statement. It's not a command. Cella diciamo, we say it to ourselves. And then diciamo cella. That's the command. Let's just say it to ourselves. Diciamocela, ragazzi. Basta. Basta. Basta con le sciocchezze. That means enough with the nonsense. Basta. I can't remember how to spell it exactly. I think it would be basta con le sciocchezze. Sciocchezze? It could just be, yeah, I think that's right. I don't think it's, yeah, this would be sco. Yeah. This is correct. Basta con le sciocchezze. Diciamocela, dai. Diciamocela. Let's just come off with it already, That's it. So I think I'm actually going to leave this here. Obviously, there is more to this. You can do many other kinds of combinations, but I like this. I think this is good. If you guys have any questions, obviously let me know in the comments section. But I feel good with this. I think we did good, and this is also, I think we did well, and this is also advanced Italian, so I feel okay not getting too going further. I think this was good. All right, guys, cool. So thanks so much for tuning in and checking out this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Check out all the videos that we've done in this series so far. Check out the other videos on my channel. This is the first time I've gone this deep into the imperativo on my channel, so this is definitely the place to see the most of it, but I do have I know I have for sure one video on the imperativo. I might have a second, but like that I did before the 0 to Hero grammar series. So yeah, that's it, guys. Always remember to spread the love, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Va bene? Alla prossima, ragazzi. Ciao!